Good morning. I'm Cheryl Casone in for Maria Bartiromo today. It's Thursday, December 28th. Your top stories at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Laying the building blocks for 2018, President Trump is gearing up for a big infrastructure push after touting the new tax plan while on vacation in Florida yesterday.
I tell you, that tax cut bill is something. The way it's kicking in. Little did we know, one of the big companies, AT&T, Comcast, so many others, Wells Fargo, they're giving thousands of dollars to their employees. The country is really, it's a big, big, beautiful ship that we're turning around, and a lot of good things are happening.
We are going to take a look at what's at the top of the agenda for 2018. Plus, we've got details on the rush to pay property taxes before the new rules go into place next year. Big story that's breaking overnight. Still not conceding, Roy Moore filing a lawsuit challenging his defeat in the Alabama Senate election. His new claim of voter fraud ahead. And looking at your broader markets on this Thursday, right now the Dow, the S&P, the Nasdaq, and the pre-market all pointing to a higher open. In Europe, a mixed bag. The FTSE, a little bit of a green number there, up 10 points. The CAC 40, the DAX in Germany, they are down. In Asia overnight, markets closed mostly higher. The Nikkei, though, did have a slight loss. As you can see, the Kospi up 1.25%. Well, losing some of its luster. Bitcoin plummets 10% over new regulatory concerns in South Korea. What 2018 holds for cryptocurrency ahead. And say cheese. A fast food joint comes up with a new way to order a burger that's sure to put a smile on your face. We're going to talk to the CEO of Caliburger about the chain's facial recognition technology and privacy concerns about it, of course. And brewing up a different kind of buzz for the new year, how Starbucks is ringing in 2018 in style. We're talking coffee with some people that really want coffee right now because they've been here since 6 a.m. On set with me right now. I've got Fox News contributor and National Review reporter Kat Timpf. She's with me. The Wall Street Journal's telecom reporter Ryan Knutson, Chief Research Officer for H Squared Research, and retail analyst Hitha Herzog. Good morning again, guys.
Good morning.
I'm bringing coffee, I promise.
Yes.
You ready?
Yes, I'm so ready.
Are there any Moscow mules left over from the last
Right.
There might be some outside.
Coffee and then Moscow mules.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the order? Not really sure.
I think you have the drink first, then coffee, or the coffee first, then the drink, depending on what you want to do after the show.
Or just one in each hand and go back and forth.
I think I have to go to the office after this, so maybe Moscow mule, then coffee.
We'll give you a to-go cup.
Perfect.
A traveler,
Even
my friends
better.
in college used to call it. All right, to our top story this hour, preparing for the massive tax overhaul. The IRS's guidance for homeowners rushing to prepay their 2018 property taxes is not really good news for a lot of people in blue states this morning. Blake Burman's live at the White House with the latest on the warning. And thanks for putting that on the website last night, Blake. What were they thinking?
You know, the architects of this tax bill, Cheryl, they said this was going to be simple. But there is a whole lot of confusion this morning surrounding those property tax prepayments after the IRS jumped in and weighed in on this yesterday. This involves the rush that we've been seeing all across the country, especially in those high tax districts from homeowners who are trying to, and in many cases, paying their 2018 next year's property tax bill now. They are doing this, of course, because of the SALT deduction, the state and local income taxes, and the property tax deduction. That'll be capped at a total of $10,000 next year. So with this IRS advisory that was posted to their website yesterday, they said this could apply under, quote, certain circumstances, those being, one, if you pay your tax bill for 2018 this year, but also, this is the important part here, they say, quote, a prepayment of anticipated real property taxes that have not been assessed prior to 2018 are not deductible in 2017. The translation there is if your municipality hasn't yet put forward the property tax bill for 2018, you could potentially be out of luck if you've made that prepayment. This has led to a whole lot of question marks all across the country, including just down the road here in Fairfax County, where the tax administrator told us yesterday before the IRS put out this advisory that on Tuesday alone, they had 2,500 people making these prepayments.
This started off as a slow drip, turned into a trickle and then a stream and now a river. We did not anticipate the numbers that showed it particularly yesterday on Tuesday and then today much less, but I'm amazed.
Cheryl, important to point out, this is just an advisory and not a legal ruling. You notice we said there could with a whole lot of this because it does not appear to be settled. Tax attorneys, accountants likely to have a field day with this, so the golden tax rule applies. If you are considering making these prepayments for next year, probably best to first pick up the phone, call your accountant where you live, and see what they have to say about it.
Well, we were talking about that earlier, Blake, because it depends where you live across the country.
Right.
Some counties don't have, they can't accept the prepayments. It just depends on geography. And then
We'll give you an
get
example. We'll give you an example right here down the road from us. You got Montgomery County in Maryland, and right next to it, Fairfax County in Virginia. Montgomery County, I know this because I live there, part of our 2018 tax bill has been put out. Fairfax County, you just heard from Scott Sizemore there, they do it year by year, have put out 2017. So might it apply in Fairfax County where it appears it does in Montgomery when you are neighbors? It's just crossing the highway. And this is just one area. An advisory, not an official ruling. Happy New Year, I guess,
on a
right?
Wednesday night before the New Year. Blake Burman live at the White House. Blake, thank you very much. Well, for more on this, we've got a member of the House Financial Services Committee with us, former small business owner as well, Congresswoman Claudia Tenney of New York. Congresswoman, good morning.
Morning. Good morning.
Okay, New York, one of the highest property tax states in the country. This is your district. How are your constituents reacting to this news this morning?
Actually, a lot of questions coming from my town supervisors and tax collectors about what to do, but let's just look at the facts. Doubling the standard deduction, as the new tax bill has done, is going to eliminate most itemizers. And so this is only going to apply to people who deduct their property taxes and use it to itemize. Before the new tax bill, it's only about 30% of my district. With the new tax bill, it's about 5%. It's mostly the really high earners. Part of the problem in New York is that we have different dates for assessing taxes. So if you need to pay your state and your county and local taxes, those are going to be due in January. So you could probably prepay them as long as the warrant has been issued. But if you're trying to deduct your school tax, it's typically not due. It's payable in September, due in July. So you're deducting it now is only going to be, a guess, an estimate of what you're going to be paying. Or being able to deduct.
I mean, look, I mean, that's in your district. I can understand, and I realize you have the percentages there, but that's one district. If you look at, especially in the larger cities, whether it's Boston, whether it's New York City, we just had a reporter talk about what's happening just outside of D.C. These blue areas. We have had lines out the door of people trying to prepay, and a lot of them have prepaid. And now they wake up to the news this morning from the IRS, this advisory they posted on the website at Lord knows what hour that says, oh, maybe that's not going to be legal. I mean, that's a very frustrating thing to do to people that were trying to, frankly, save a little bit of money. I mean, it just seems like it's a wrong choice by the IRS.
I think it's an advisory. Again, that doesn't mean that they're going to charge that against people, but look at it this way. There is one really simple answer. People like Andrew Cuomo and the Progressive Democrats in the state assembly, now it's time to reduce taxes. It's time to look at a pro-growth economy instead of spending just about all of your time trying to figure out a way to destroy New York. I'm from a state with the highest outmigration of people and jobs in the nation. New York just toppled. Over 1 million people have left New York since Andrew Cuomo was elected. It's because of the high taxes, the high regulatory burden, the highest minimum wage that hurts small business owners. Now we have paid family leave, which is great for employees, but it hurts small employers. It only helps the big guys against the small people.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Governor Cuomo was the one that issued the emergency advisory to New York State residents and said, if you can prepay, go do it. He was the one pushing that. That doesn't seem to be a governor who has a plan to reduce state taxes in New York, and this is just one example.
Thank the Lord. I hope he does reduce state taxes. That's something I've been fighting for when I was a member of the state assembly for 6 years. Something they didn't do. He came up with a bunch of gimmicks. He spent $8 billion in what we call cronyism dollars, $8 billion in hard-earned taxpayer money. If he wants to go out and defend and protect those billionaires and millionaires that are so loathed by the progressives, even Bernie Sanders admitted the middle class is getting a tax cut. So if they want to, defend and protect the high earners, then let's do so. Let's reduce taxes in New York and keep them here. I remember a long time ago when Governor Patterson first became governor, and they were saying, let's stop all those greedy people on Wall Street and prevent them. Let's put a law in place that prevents them from getting bonuses. Well, guess what? A couple of days later, the budget director said, hey, Governor, guess what? We lose huge amounts of revenue to pay for all these programs we have in New York, so that's not going to work. So let's go ahead, lower taxes on our higher earners. Let the Democrats do that and protect them. We've protected the middle class on the federal side, and not only that, as a member of this of Congress on the Republican side, I voted for this tax bill in a high tax state because it helps my earners, my middle income earners. I protected them with bringing the deduction to $10,000 for property income and even sales tax. We added back many of the popular deductions that you get, many of the tax credits, the child care credit.
I'm glad that you did. I'm glad that you did, Congresswoman, because the middle class, what is the middle class is very different from state to state. And you ask anybody right now that's watching this program from California or Massachusetts or New York or New Jersey, even Wisconsin has got issues when it comes to this. So we hope that governors, including our esteemed Mr. Cuomo, are watching the show. But I want to ask you about something else that's happening. This is going to affect, of course, what you're going to go back to in Washington. It's Alabama. Roy Moore, we just found out, is challenging his Senate election defeat. He is alleging rampant voter fraud. Think he's got a case?
Non-issue. No, I think it's time to move on. Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, he wants to get, his day in the sun is over. He lost the re-election. Unfortunately, we lost a seat, but I think we're going to regain that seat. I also think that Republicans are going to fare better than people think, because the Democrats simply do not have a message. Their message, I mean, what's happened this year, just some of the great things that are going on my committee, the Financial Services Committee, one of the most productive committees in Congress. So many things are happening that are going to be positive. Look at the economy. The economy is coming around. There's enthusiasm. People are excited about it. When you talk about whining, complaining, blaming, and resisting, that's not a plan and something that people are going to get behind. When the Democrats come up with a message, I think that we're going to have to step it up. But I mean, what more can the president do? This has been a banner year. They may not like his personality, and there's certainly some issues on Twitter that a lot of people, even on my side, don't love. But
thanks for admitting that.
Look what's happening. Look at the agenda. Look at what's going to be going on. We are reducing regulations. The tax plan hasn't gone into effect, and we are already at 3% growth, and even going more. The Tax Policy Foundation has said we're going to have an increase of anywhere from 1.7 to 1.7 to 1.8. Increase in growth on top of what we're experiencing now over the next decade. That's going to be phenomenal. Now I just hope Bernie Sanders and senators on the Democratic side, or independent side in his case, join us in making these tax cuts permanent as soon as possible. And I think that's something that they're going to be doing.
Well, we want to see that, we do want to see more bipartisanship, especially when it comes to infrastructure and immigration. There's a lot on your plate when you go back to Washington. Enjoy your vacation this week, though.
Thank you.
Congresswoman Claudia Tenney from New York.
Thank you.
Thank you, Congresswoman. All right, coming up, everybody. The Bitcoin roller coaster, the cryptocurrency, currently right now, 14,100 and change. Look at the size of the loss, though. It fell 10% overnight. The potential new regulations that are weighing on this asset. Plus, a new year means a new drink from Starbucks. We are ready to taste test the coffee concoction. That's got a buzz going for coffee lovers everywhere. We've got Starbucks on set coming up. So a massive bombing attack killing dozens in Afghanistan. Lauren Simonetti, has got the details on that story. Lauren, good morning.
So sad, Cheryl, but now we know that an ISIS affiliate in Afghanistan carrying out a horrific attack on a Shiite cultural center in the capital city of Kabul, killing at least 40, wounding dozens of others. The building also houses a pro-Iranian news agency, which may have also been a target in this attack. Officials say not one but 3 bombs exploded outside that building, and one suicide bomber sneaked into the center and blew himself up. Well, it looks like Bitcoin has a case of the holiday blues, the digital currency falling about 5% right now after South Korea says it plans a crackdown banning the opening of anonymous accounts and even allowing the shutting down of Bitcoin exchanges if necessary. South Korea is one of the biggest markets for Bitcoin in the world, and just last week, A Bitcoin exchange there suspended trading and filed for bankruptcy after it was hacked. So the volatility continues. Hey, is your smart speaker haunted? Eerie sounds like a crying baby or a glass breaking have been randomly playing on some of these speakers. Researchers have found that some Sonos and Bose speakers could have vulnerabilities allowing them to be hacked, to be hijacked. Sonos says customers can avoid the issue by not connecting to a public network. The defect could be prevalent in as many as 5,000 Sonos speakers, as many as 500 Bose devices. And just in time for New Year's, Starbucks is busting out the formal wear with not one, not two, but 3 new Tuxedo drinks. The black and white mocha collection features a cafe mocha, a frappuccino, and a hot chocolate. They have white and dark chocolate along with espresso, whipped cream, look at that, and a stripe of chocolate sprinkle sequins. They can be served hot or cold. Definitely hot is the answer today. And I've got the black and white Tuxedo mocha right here. What do you guys have?
Got the mocha?
I think the same thing.
Yeah, I have the little sprinkles here as the little stripe.
The sequins.
The sequins?
The little
Cheers.
sequins. All right, cheers. Cheers.
I am getting whipped cream all over my face. Yeah. There you go.
Pretty good.
Just like I thought it would taste. Delicious. Act fast. They do all of these holiday limited drinks, but they're only available for a week or two. So first week of January, you can't get this.
I'm already getting a sugar rush right now, guys.
Yeah.
I'm starting to
Keep going. Keep going.
We were talking about the need for caffeine on set, you know. I mean, now we're getting it. By the way, I did try remember the Christmas tree frappuccino?
You did try that.
You know, I went to the Starbucks later by my house and bought one.
And
what is it like?
Good.
It's not peppermint.
It was like,
what does a tree
it was a
taste like?
big old cup of sugar, but it was great.
I missed that one, but someone else told me it tasted like pine needles in their mouth, and they didn't like it.
I liked
really
it.
tastes like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
They had that like unicorn
Starbucks.
one earlier over the summer that was just all about trying to Instagram the
just
Instagram.
You're talking about this as if we don't know about the unicorn frappuccino.
Well, that was a big one. You missed the unicorn frappuccino.
Yeah, I didn't try it. Actually.
You
but
missed
this is
out.
much less Instagrammable, I think, than that one. Way more visual.
Wait till you see my Instagram later. I got a good one.
Challenge accepted.
The unicorn was the unexpected hit sensation that we will talk about forever. But this is pretty good.
Lauren, thanks for the coffee.
Thanks.
Where were you at 6:20 this morning?
Walking up to studio.
Lauren, thank you. All right, coming up, a new strategy we're just talking about social media, Snapchat, how the company is working to compete against Facebook and reportedly push its content outside of the app. We're going to talk about it. Plus, say cheese. We've got the fast food chain that's letting you use your face to buy your food. Artificial intelligence is flipping the burger industry. The fast casual chain Caliburger is injecting AI into the ordering process with a new pilot program that uses facial recognition to remember the customer's orders. Joining us now is the co-founder and chairman of Caliburger, John Miller. Hey, John, good morning.
Good morning.
Where'd you get the idea for this?
We've been looking at different ways to use new technologies in the restaurant and retail industry to allow us to see our customers better and to make the experience more interesting, interactive, and efficient for customers for a while. So we've invested in robotics in our kitchens. We've invested in social gaming. And this is the latest in a series of investments to create a space-age experience for our customers.
So I thought it was really interesting that you had a $30 million investment in social gaming. Do you think that's part of the reason why retail chains, or I should say food chains, fast food chains are failing, like McDonald's? You're seeing this older generation go to McDonald's, but this newer generation isn't responding as quickly. Was this just a way to kind of get that younger generation interested and engaged and lingering in the restaurants?
Yeah, we about 4 years ago, we started looking at new ways to attract a younger demographic into a restaurant setting. And for me, it was I watched my kids play Minecraft, and they would rather go to the worst restaurant in Los Angeles if they could play Minecraft on their phones than the very best place. And so the the idea was I grew up with McDonald's having a physical playground, and that was part of the experience and the magic of McDonald's. And so for my kids growing up with mobile devices, the idea was that they would have a digital playground that they could go to and play with their friends. And so we developed our social gaming platforms around that, and then we spun that technology out into 2 different companies, Super League Gaming and Funwall, built around the idea of gaming in public places, making it a social experience, theaters, malls, places like that that need new ways to attract young people into their locations.
How much do you see augmented reality being a role? Do you have any games like that? Pokemon Go was obviously really huge for a while. If you tried to incorporate that, do you think that's more than a fad?
You know what? We have a really interesting project that we're currently developing, which actually uses facial recognition to create a whole new category of a digital game. So you can imagine everybody has CCTV cameras already installed in their locations. And so imagine a game where you don't need a mobile device to play. You show up, the camera can identify you by face, you're awarded some kind of digital coin. You show up with friends at a certain time, you're awarded more digital coins. You show up and you do something in the place, you get even more digital coins. So, we're thinking about a world where machine vision and facial recognition allows us to create games that aren't dependent on the mobile device, a whole new category of games.
But people aren't worried about privacy, though, because we had this conversation earlier in the show about, you know, with so much technology out there and facial recognition technology, that there's privacy concerns. There's security on the one end, which is a good thing, but you know, maybe it's a little more of an invasion than people are going to want.
Yeah, I think there's a fair amount of concern about these new technologies. You know, I think what people don't fully appreciate yet, and what you know, the education process that they'll go through is that everybody is already on tape in the physical world, right? So when you walk into a restaurant or Target or wherever, there's CCTV cameras everywhere recording everything. And the idea of using these machine vision technologies, artificial intelligence, to automatically detect certain events or certain things for people that opt into those systems is not really a unique intrusion of privacy, since the video is already recording you and it's being stored somewhere. And in most cases, a lot of these Well, I mean, it's an interesting point, and it's certainly, you know, and I know that you're also really trying to, again, automate the restaurants. We were talking about that earlier, the fact that you're not going to need a burger flipper anymore. You've got a robot for that. So you're doing a lot of things. You're on the edge, John Miller. Thank you so much for getting up early. I know it's pretty early in California. We appreciate it. Thanks, John. Thanks, John Miller. All right, Caliburger, you were saying that you don't like the idea of facial recognition.
It just makes me nervous. I mean, I understand that I'm still on videotape, but there's not like a database of my cheeseburger orders on a videotape, which is something I kind of want to keep private.
I don't think I need the cheeseburgers that much in order for me to have some sort of database of my face in there.
You're going to come back in and make, oh, here's the, you know, the double, triple decker that you ordered.
Well, we're going to stay on food. We're going to stay on food and talk with Martha Stewart after a quick break. She's sitting down with Maria to share her secrets. Plus, electric vehicles losing the charge. Drivers aren't plugging into the technology. That's coming up.
He's going the distance. He's going for speed. She's all alone in a time of need. Because
Welcome back. I'm Cheryl Casone in for Maria Bartiromo. Today it's Thursday, December 28th. Your top stories at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The question on everyone's mind, will the rally roll into 2018? This morning, futures pointing to another higher open, Dow up by 41 in the pre-market. Over in Europe, a mixed bag, but still a little bit of green to show you here. The FTSE up by more than 6 points. In Asia overnight, markets closing mostly higher. The Kospi up over 1%. Digging out of a historic winter storm, officials issue an emergency alert after 5 feet of snow has buried Erie, Pennsylvania. The latest on the storm as temperatures plunge to record lows across that entire region. And apparently it's comedy that comes before the fall. Vanity Fair under fire from liberals after poking fun at Hillary Clinton.
Take more photos in the woods. How else are you going to meet unsuspecting hikers?
Take up a new hobby in the new year. Volunteer work, knitting, improv comedy, literally anything that'll keep you from running again.
to finally put away your James Comey voodoo doll. Now, we all know you think that James Comey cost you the election, and he might have, but so did a handful of other things. It's a year later, and time to move on.
Okay, well, the magazine's response to the outrage over its New Year's resolution suggestions for the former presidential candidate. Snapchat's Reappearing Act, the company reportedly giving up the ghost on keeping all of its content on the app, why it's looking to bring stories to the web. Disneyland going dark. The details: a power outage forced the happiest place on earth to shut down yesterday. Dozens of rides out of commission for hours. We're going to tell you about it. And what? Little John claiming he's closing in on his dream of becoming the new Papa John's CEO. Why the pizza chain might be ready to take a shot with the rapper. Cruising into the new year, a first-hand look at some of the contenders for best cars of 2018. We've got them on the plaza. We're going to check them out for you in the next half hour of Mornings with Maria. Well, back here in the warmer studio, we're going to talk a little bit about food. Martha Stewart has achieved fame and success in business, entertainment, and a lot more. Maria Bartiromo sat down with the business pioneer to get her take on everything from the state of the U.S. economy to her empire.
Thank you so much for joining us, Martha. So I was reading as I was preparing for our interview, 19 Emmys for your lifestyle TV program, creator of 2 PBS shows, built a brand reaching approximately 100 million consumers, author of about to be 90 award-winning books on cooking, entertaining, gardening, homekeeping, organizing, crafting. Wow, congratulations to you.
We're busy.
You are
We're
very busy.
And we stay busy.
And you're on QVC right now.
Yeah, we just started a new program on QVC, which to me is kind of eye-opening and groundbreaking because it's a new way for me to retail, taking items, beautiful things, to a 300 million customer base that QVC has around the world. So what you do is you can create lifestyle programming, and then you can sell every single item that you're showing on television. So it's a very nice alternative to Amazon, which is online shopping without that visual. And then we have the regular wonderful retail stores that we also sell in. So it's a third way, I think, that attracts people by the droves and really enables them to be entertained and shop at the same time.
You know what I love about QVC? You get instant gratification. You know exactly how much you sold right away. And the other day...
Oh, yeah, the seller knows.
Yeah, the seller knows. So I was at home. You tweeted out, hurry up, put on QVC. I'm on right now. I hurried up. I put on QVC. There you are. I think you sold $1 million in...
Close to $1 million of skincare. I have a partnership with Mario Badescu, a company that I've been going to for almost 50 years.
I love Mario Badescu.
They're 50 years old this year. I can't believe it. And I've been going for facials and skincare and using their products for a very, very long time. So I came up with this great idea of selling skincare by the decade. So this is what you need. These are the products you need when you're in your teens, your 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s and beyond.
I love that.
It was a big hit. It will continue to be a big hit because it is good product. And you know, my skin is like a good advertisement.
Love it. So, Martha, give me the sense of the structure of the company. You are the Chief Creative Officer and member of the board of directors of Sequential Brands.
Sequential is a licensing company, a listed company, and we are we own a lot of different lifestyle brands and other kinds of brands. So we have brands that sell to Walmart. We have brands that sell to the mass market. We have brands that sell to upscale. So we have very good brands, and Martha is one of the biggest brands. And we just continue to develop all kinds of new products.
That's the most important thing, though, keeping your brand.
And we design our products. That's the other...
Well, you're the chief creative,
yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes, it's the distinguishing feature of our kind of branding company versus, say, an Iconics. We design in-house our brands, our packaging, all the kinds of things that we like to sell.
So how have you changed, evolved the company, your brand, as everything has shifted? I mean, you've got Amazon eating people's lunch on so many levels, truly.
Well, we're trying to do a big job with Amazon. Amazon is here to stay. I've known Amazon for ever since they started at Kleiner Perkins, and I really admire what Jeff Bezos has done with his tenacity and his brilliance. I mean, he's a brilliant guy.
Another media mogul. He owns the Washington Post personally.
So he owns the Washington Post. He bought the biggest house in Washington recently. He wants to really be in every single aspect of our lives, and he's doing it brilliantly.
So your deal will include, I mean, it's just basically delivering?
Just selling stuff. We already sell our Marley Spoon Martha and Marley Spoon meals through Amazon. We're working on doing pets and garden through Amazon. Not only Amazon, it's just another vertical, another way to sell beautiful products.
I don't know that Black Friday is as important as it once was. When you've got venues where you can buy anything anytime and you get
it's only about the price. It's only about the price. Black Friday, it's the pricing. It's the sales price that people are going after. And it's an excitement. It's really trying to get people to get out, shop. They're not going to buy just the things that are on sale. They're going to buy other things too. That's what the merchants need. We need to get people into the stores again. Stores are really suffering because of online sales. But I think it's 59% of Americans want to shop online. Yeah. Either by their phone or just sitting at their desk at home.
So what does it look like today to you in terms of the outlook out there, the consumer shopping? And we debate a lot how strong the economy really is. Things are getting better, aren't they?
Well, the stock market's at a new high. Yeah. I mean, I don't know thanks to who, but I think business is doing well. Right. And I think that we are recapturing some of the manufacturing that we lost. I think we're doing a rather good job in the United States of making great product again.
I'm reading an article here. Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg, TV's oddest couple. It seems like an odd couple.
We are a very odd couple.
But you have commonalities. Tell me how this idea came about.
Well, we were on the Justin Bieber roast. We roasted Dear Justin, and we sat next to each other. And he had been on my show a couple times, on the Martha Show, and we just sort of hit it off. He's fun to hang with, as they say. And remember, I'm not a rapper. I'm not black. I am, I'm sort of like a teacher. And Snoop loves to learn. So we get to talking, and some brilliant agent or somebody brilliant at VH1 decided that they were going to approach us about doing a cooking show. Yeah. They wanted a contest. Snoop and I decided we really wanted to do a dinner party where we would invite all kinds of people, and we have great guests this year. Oh my God, from Jamie Foxx to Puff Daddy to I'm trying to get Eminem. He hasn't come on yet. Okay. And I want Beyonce, of course.
Oh, definitely. But, she's now the highest paid singer.
Her album just got '1. That's
right. She
this
just
week. It's so
Taylor
exciting.
Swift off the list.
Yeah.
But so it's a cooking show, but it's not just cooking. It's a celebrity talk show.
Well, it's cooking. It's talking. It's very comedic because Snoop has a great sense of comedy, and I'm developing my comedic side on this show. Great. And we have a lot of fun. It's really fun.
Are you attracting a younger audience? Is that what this is about?
Tremendously, yes.
Millennials.
But not only are we attracting the young, the usual VH1s, VH1 is now experiencing a whole new shift in demographic because my fans are watching. And it's bringing in a whole new audience. So I call it a culture melding. And that's exactly what it is.
That is fantastic. Yeah. And the show is VH1, Martha and Snoop's Potluck Dinner Party, in its second season. Part cooking, part celebrity talk show.
First season was 10 shows, second season 20 shows. So we're happening. We're happening.
She is happening. Great interview with Maria Bartiromo, of course. Our thanks to Martha Stewart. Well, coming up, lighten up the happiest place on earth. The latest as the power comes back on at Disneyland following yesterday's massive outage. Plus, will Little John deliver? The rapper's hilarious tweets. He wants to be the next CEO of Papa John's Pizza. The Power's been restored at Disneyland after an outage yesterday. Gerri Willis on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Gerri, what happened there yesterday?
All right, well, listen to this. So the happiest place on earth, definitely the most annoyed place on earth, as customers found themselves not being able to get on some of the rides. Their power outage seemed to start at about 11 a.m. their time, West Coast time yesterday, and wasn't fully restored until 5 p.m. Folks who paid $124 for those peak season tickets were totally ticked off. We saw a couple of tweets from them. But let me tell you, everything's back up and running. But Pirates of the Caribbean, Nemo, those two rides both out. People not happy about that. And another story here, according to Cheddar this time, Snapchat trying to find some more users, right? They're desperate to boost their stagnant user growth, so they're going to expand their popular stories features to other parts of the web, moving it all over the web, just as Twitter embeds tweets across the web. The idea here that they will get more people interested in their service, more people who want to use it, build up that user growth to a level that maybe just Wall Street would really like to see. The stories everywhere features, as you know, and so when you go onto Snapchat, you can build these out yourself. You see a lot of individuals have the stories, but then companies do too, so it's a great way to promote. We'll keep an eye on this, see if it helps Snapchat, but right down, I believe the shares are slightly lower in pre-market. So we're watching those two companies. Cheryl, back to you.
Yeah, not quite the IPO star of 2017 like it was supposed to be. Gerri Willis looking very festive on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange today. You know, Snapchat, Kat, that was supposed to be the big hit, the big IPO of 2017.
Well, Instagram started doing stories, so what a lot of people, myself included, do is they use the Snapchat filter and then you save it and then you post it on your Instagram story.
Oh man, that's cold.
Yeah,
that's cold.
wow. That's what I do.
I'm a big Snapchat fan, but it's amazing. When Instagram stories came out, it was just astonishing to watch everybody just kind of migrate back over to Instagram. Facebook, which owns Instagram, has a huge lock on the social media market.
And globally, too. That's the thing. Instagram is way more popular globally than Snapchat is. Snapchat was always kind of a U.S.-based audience.
It's easier to navigate, I think. I mean, maybe... No, Instagram stories.
I was going to say, I think Snapchat is hard.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because
Thank you for saying that. I'm not the only one that was challenged by Snapchat.
Young millennial, I just can't seem to get, other than the facial, the filters. Yeah, that's the only thing I can sort of understand.
So why doesn't Instagram just do filters and...
They have
It does, but they're not as good. Yeah. They're not as, they don't hide zits as well, is what I mean by not as good.
Oh, well, that's not going to do. More wrinkles in my case. All right, well, I've just learned something very good. Well, there is some extreme winter weather to tell you about this morning, really pounding the Northeast. It's going to be a chilly new year. Lauren Simonetti's got the details.
Bone-chilling, record-breaking snowfall is burying parts of New York and Pennsylvania. Bitter cold gripping the nation. Let's start in upstate New York, where a state of emergency and a travel advisory have been issued already. In Lorraine, New York firefighters rescuing a woman trapped in her home. There's her home. They used shovels and a plow to get her out. Bitter cold also moving right here to the Northeast. It's about 15 here in the city. Boston, about 7 degrees. The cold is expected to last through when the ball drops on 2018. A lawyer accused of helping Martin Shkreli cover up financial fraud, now convicted of conspiracy charges. Prosecutors say that lawyer helped Shkreli steal millions of dollars during his time as chief executive of a biopharmaceutical company. Shkreli is known for boosting the price of a life-saving drug, convicted in August of fraud related to his handling of hedge fund investments. Well, Vanity Fair triggering outrage among liberals after it posted a video poking fun at Hillary Clinton. Magazine staffers offering their New Year's resolutions following her failed presidential bid.
Take up a new hobby in the new year. Volunteer work, knitting, improv comedy, literally anything that'll keep you from running again.
Oh, couldn't hear that last one. Anyway, Clinton supporters went on Twitter to protest the video and to defend Hillary Clinton. Some of them actually burning copies of the magazine. For its part, Vanity Fair telling the Washington Post the video was an attempt at humor. It regrets missing the mark. No response from the Clinton team, but they suggested maybe she should knit and do other things. All right, Papa John's might have a new CEO, but rapper Lil Jon says, wait, what about me? Just a week after Papa John's CEO John Schnatter announced he would be stepping down, a Twitter user suggested that Lil Jon apply for the position. So the rapper responded, I will humbly accept the position as the new CEO. I can start immediately. Then a recruiter with Papa John's played along. Still waiting on your resume. Is it a deal breaker if we won't rename the company Papa Lil John's? And then yesterday, Lil Jon tweeted, just got off a great call with Papa John's, excited for the future. And there's more. Then the restaurant retweeted with the handshake emoji. So is that like a 2017-2018 sign of a deal inked? Or maybe they have a new face for their commercials? Not sure. You guys let us know what you think. Coming up, which vehicles raced to the finish line for Car of the Year? We're checking out the finalists on our plaza in a bit.
We have got some hot rods heating up a very cold morning here in New York City. It's about 8 degrees right now. Topping 2018's best car charts is the Kia Stinger and the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, and we have them both on the plaza this morning. Joining me now, automotive expert, the car coach we love her, Lauren Fix. Lauren, good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you for coming out in this really chilly weather.
I'm from Buffalo. I'm used to this.
Okay, the Texas girls got it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, this is the Kia Stinger GT. This is it right here. This is a gorgeous car.
Right. Now, when you think of Kia, you think, oh, practical car, good warranty, very reliable. They decided to be a game changer, and this is what I believe. There are 3 finalists for the North American Car of the Year: the Honda Accord, the Toyota Camry, and this is the Kia.
I want you guys to come in and look inside, because it's actually look inside.
Here's
with
the key.
interior, everything. It's got heated seats, right? It's got
heated air-conditioned seats, heated steering wheel. Here's the reason why I think this car is great. Designed by a German designer that designed the original Audi. Also, BMW M, which is the performance line, they hired him over to Kia, and he did the driveline. Everything in here is premium. Even the back seat has more room than an Audi A4 or a BMW 3 Series.
All right. Since you mentioned the back seat, we're going to peek in really quick, and then we're going to go check the other car
obviously, it's not a ton of room overall, but I mean, when you're looking at a vehicle in this category, you want a GT vehicle. This car is extremely fast on the Nürburgring, which is the racetrack that everybody uses.
I love the car.
To make a decision.
I love it. All right,
on how fast their car. This car looks great too. If you look at the front of this, this is a sexy car.
Is it? Do you think? Should we just no?
It's a beautiful car.
We love this car.
I love the Kia Stinger. It's my personal best for the car of the year, and the reason is I think that it just is a game changer for Kia. Warranty it out. Now, when you go to the utility vehicles, we've got for the finalists the Honda Odyssey, the Volvo XC60, and this is the Alfa Romeo Stelvio.
I think we need to get inside of the Alfa Romeo.
This car is spectacular. You got to see the front of this car too. It is sexy.
Show the front.
When do Italians make SUVs? When it's the Stelvio. And this car to me is just so sexy. It's like a Brioni suit. You got to have it. And if you drive it, I've had this on the track. Oh my gosh.
You've driven this car?
Oh yes, and I'm waiting for the Quadrifoglio in February.
Let's hop in, because if I didn't mention it 10 times during the show this morning, it's really cold in New York City today. All right, so let's hop in.
Now look at the red interior. This is a sexy interior. When you buy an Italian car, you want that style, that class. And this is a game changer for Fiat Chrysler, because they own Alfa Romeo.
And it's also got, everything is about, on-car technology. I mean, everything is connected, right? Whether it's wireless, whether it's the seats, everything else.
But a lot of things that you don't think about when you buy a car like this is a flat-bottom steering wheel, so that you can get in without hitting your legs. Having the ability to have everything right in front of you. This is a driver's car. And if you haven't driven one, this car is a blast. I have to say.
And it's got heated seats, right?
Yes, it does.
That was the main reason I wanted to get into the car today. Really, really nice.
Love the red interior. I find the red interior a turn on, but I have to say, just everything about Alfa Romeo and what they've done to be a game changer, this is either a make it or break it for the brand.
So you brought 2 of the finalists today, but when do we find out the results of the winner?
The winners are announced, and that includes Truck of the Year, which is the Ford Expedition, the Lincoln Navigator, and the Chevy Colorado ZR2. January 15th, we open the North American International Auto Show in Detroit at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be calling the car of the year.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we can't actually drive this, but I do want to get back outside to look at the back of the car.
Okay.
Because, not that I'm necessarily an SUV girl, I kind of like the red car thing, but if you look at the overall styling of the car, you said earlier that Italians aren't really known for making great SUVs.
Well, they don't ever make SUVs until now.
This is the first time that we've really seen this type of design from the
Right.
Italians.
When you look at the back, it is very Italian. It is clean lines, everything about it. And I even love the logo. They carried the traditional Alfa Romeo logo. And Alfa Romeo really has decided, and I was there when they launched this vehicle, they said, listen, we have to be a game changer. If we aren't, we don't exist in the United States. And for them to come back, they knew what the market segment was. It's SUVs, and this meets that.
So let's talk about electric cars, because electric vehicles, as far as the auto industry was concerned, was going to change the game. Consumers really aren't signing up for electric vehicles.
No.
Is that because of the lack of charging stations or what?
There's a lot of things. For 2018, that's my losers. These are my winners. The losers, I would have to say, are electric vehicles. And the reason is consumers aren't buying them. And if you look at the 17.7 million vehicles that were sold last year, only 1.7% were EVs and hybrids combined.
Wow.
So consumers aren't buying them because, one, they weigh more, so they wear the tires out quicker, wears out the brakes quicker. So there's a service side to that that's never discussed. It's always the smoke and mirrors of this is a great solution, but there's cobalt, mercury, cadmium, lithium. These are all hazardous materials that are strip mined. There's a lot of factors that we don't think about, and it's not as green as you'd think.
Lauren, I think it's amazing how you know your cars and you know your vehicles. You've done such great work when it comes to all of this. All right, thank you for coming on a very cold morning, of course, in New York. We're going to come right back on Mornings with Maria. Final thoughts from the All-Star panel. They are sitting there nice and warm up in the studio. I'm going to stay out here. We'll be right back. Stay with the show. All right, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Kat Timpf, Ryan Knutson, and Hitha Herzog, who for some reason didn't want to do this segment with me outside on the plaza. Sorry. Love you guys. Thank you so much. A great show. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another edition of Mornings with Maria. Right now, Barney and Company is up next. Charles Payne, take it away, sir.
All right, Cheryl, thank you very much. I am Charles Payne in for Stewart, and yes, count them. We have two full trading days